Why the gratitude they teach you is the biggest scam against your evolution. Why? You were programmed to be thankful for scraps. What if I told you that you've been conditioned since childhood to be grateful for exactly the crumbs they throw at you? You know that motivational speech about, be grateful for what you have, that bombards your social feeds every single day? Well, it might be the biggest psychological trap of our era. Neuroscience reveals something disturbing. Our brains are wired to seek patterns and find meaning in everything. When we're constantly exposed to the narrative of forced gratitude, our neural circuits begin normalizing situations that should actually bother us. It's like we're reprogramming our own dissatisfaction, that driving force that makes us evolve and question the status quo. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, "At least you have a job," when you complain about your working conditions? Or, "Be grateful for your health," when you express frustration with other aspects of your life? This toxic gratitude works like emotional anesthesia that keeps us sleeping while we accept mediocre situations. The scariest part is that this doesn't happen by accident. We live in a society that profits from our conformity. When you stop questioning, stop demanding more, stop bothering the system, you become the perfect consumer, the ideal employee, the obedient citizen. Distorted gratitude becomes the opium of modern people. A Berkeley University study showed that excessively grateful people tend to more easily accept unfair situations, avoiding necessary confrontations. It's no coincidence that gratitude marketing exploded exactly when social inequalities reached historic levels. True subversion begins when you realize there's an abysmal difference between authentic gratitude and programmed gratitude. The first connects you with the present and energizes you to create a better future. The second paralyzes you in a false sense of contentment that benefits everyone except you. Your awakening journey starts now. Question every "be grateful" you hear today. Notice how your body reacts when someone tries to convince you to accept less than you deserve. This awareness will start dissolving years of conditioning. The real game changer happens when you understand that your dissatisfaction isn't a character flaw that needs fixing. It's your internal GPS telling you that you're meant for something bigger, something that actually aligns with your potential. Stop apologizing for wanting more. Stop feeling guilty for not being satisfied with mediocrity. Your desires aren't selfish, they're evolutionary signals pointing you toward the life you're actually supposed to be living. Start recognizing the difference between gratitude that empowers you and gratitude that diminishes you. One makes you a co-creator of your reality. The other makes you a passive victim, celebrating your own limitations. Comment awaken if you've already noticed this pattern in your life. Hit like if you're ready to question these narratives, and subscribe to keep deconstructing the illusions that keep us trapped. How false gratitude hijacks your natural ambition. Have you ever noticed how the most conformist people are? Exactly those who live repeating gratitude mantras. It's not a coincidence. There's social engineering behind this that goes way beyond what you imagine. When you constantly thank for scraps, your brain starts redefining your reference standards. It's like you're training your mind to settle for less, to lower your expectations, to accept that it is what it is, and that's final. This neural reprogramming is so subtle, you don't even notice when it happens. The self-improvement industry discovered a goldmine in this formula. They took a genuine concept, authentic gratitude that actually improves our mental health, and transformed it into a social control tool. Now, you have coaches, influencers, and gurus selling the narrative that if you're not happy, it's because you're not being grateful enough. It's brilliant and perverse at the same time, because when you internalize this belief, you stop questioning external structures and turn all your energy toward fixing something that was never broken. Your natural desire to grow, to achieve more, to not settle for mediocrity. Your ambition isn't a defect that needs to be cured with gratitude. Your dissatisfaction isn't a mental problem that needs to be medicated with pretty Instagram quotes. These are the fuels of your evolution, the signals that you haven't yet surrendered to the system that wants to keep you small. A Stanford University study revealed something fascinating. People who maintain a healthy level of dissatisfaction are 40% more likely to achieve challenging goals. Dissatisfaction is your evolutionary compass, not a bug that needs fixing. Authentic gratitude is completely different. It naturally arises when you recognize what you've already achieved, but without losing sight of where you want to go. It energizes you, doesn't paralyze you. It inspires you to create more value in the world, not to accept less than you deserve. Think about anyone you admire who really made a difference in the world. Did that person get where they got by being grateful for scraps or by keeping a flame of nonconformism burning? Was Steve Jobs grateful for mediocre computers? Did Einstein settle for the limited theories of his time? The truth is, you need to protect your ambition like you protect a treasure. Every time someone tries to convince you that you should be more grateful when you're fighting for something bigger, remember, that person might be unconsciously trying to keep you at the same level of mediocrity where they chose to stay. Your hunger for more isn't greed, it's growth. Your refusal to settle isn't ingratitude, it's integrity. Your vision for something better isn't delusion, it's evolution calling you forward. Start today distinguishing between gratitude that propels you and gratitude that paralyzes you. Your life will change radically when you understand this difference. Comment ambition. If you're tired of lowering your expectations, hit like if this perspective resonated with you, and subscribe for more content that challenges conventional thinking. What if your anger is healthier than your forced gratitude? Here's a truth nobody wants you to know. Your anger might be more evolutionary than your programmed gratitude. While they teach you that anger is low vibration and gratitude is high vibration, you're being emotionally disarmed to accept whatever they offer you. Authentic anger is your internal alarm system. It emerges when something isn't aligned with your values, when a situation violates your integrity, when you realize you're being underestimated or manipulated. It's your psyche screaming, "This isn't right, and you deserve better." But society created a collective phobia of anger. They convince you that enlightened people don't feel anger, that you need to transmute this energy through gratitude. It's the biggest psychological con in modern history, because when you lose access to your healthy anger, you also lose your ability to set boundaries, to say no, to fight for what's rightfully yours. Neuropsychology shows us something revolutionary. Anger activates the same brain areas responsible for determination and action. When you feel anger about an unfair situation and channel that energy toward change, you're using one of humanity's most powerful evolutionary tools. Now compare this to forced gratitude. When you force "I'm grateful for this difficult situation because it teaches me," you're literally anesthetizing the signals that should mobilize you to act. It's like taking morphine when you should be running to save yourself. A Harvard University study discovered that people who can process anger constructively have significantly lower levels of anxiety and depression. Why? Because they don't accumulate frustrations, don't swallow their pride, don't lie betraying themselves in the name of false spirituality. I'm not telling you to go around destroying everything. I'm talking about rescuing your ability to feel anger when it's appropriate, and using that energy as fuel for necessary transformations in your life. Your anger tells you when a relationship is toxic. Your anger warns you when a job is draining you without giving anything back. Your anger alerts you when you're being disrespected. If you suffocate these signals with forced gratitude, how will you know when it's time to fight for something better? The most successful people in history weren't those who smiled and accepted everything. They were those who got angry at injustice and channeled that fury into creating solutions. Martin Luther King, Jr., wasn't grateful for segregation. Steve Jobs wasn't thankful for inferior technology. They got pissed off and did something about it. Real gratitude naturally arises after you honor your anger and act from it. When you use your indignation to build a life that's actually worth living, then you feel deep and authentic gratitude, not for scraps, but for having the courage to not accept less than you deserved. Today, practice feeling your emotions without judgment. If something bothers you, investigate that discomfort instead of suffocating it with gratitude mantras. Write boundaries in the comments if you're ready to honor your authentic emotions. Like this video if you're willing to question these programs, and subscribe to continue this awakening journey. How to reprogram your gratitude to serve you, the system. It's time to hack this system and use gratitude as a power tool, not a submission mechanism. Because when you understand how authentic gratitude works, it becomes one of the most powerful weapons for creating the life you actually want. The difference is in the focus. Toxic gratitude makes you thankful for what you have, so you stop fighting for what you want. Evolutionary gratitude makes you recognize your journey, so you have even more energy to keep growing. One paralyzes you, the other propels you to the next level. I'm going to teach you the complete protocol. First, be grateful for your internal resources, not external circumstances. Thank your ability to think critically, your courage to question, your strength to not conform. Be grateful for the skills you developed fighting against adversity, not for the adversity itself. Second, use gratitude as fuel for bigger ambitions. When you recognize how much you've already evolved, it proves you're capable of evolving even more. Your gratitude becomes evidence of your unlimited potential, not an excuse to stop where you are. Third, be strategic with your gratitude. Be thankful for relationships that elevate you, jobs that challenge you, opportunities that expand you. Stop faking gratitude for situations that diminish you just because you should be grateful. Neuroscience shows us something fascinating. When you practice gratitude for achievements and growth, your brain releases dopamine, the motivation neurotransmitter. You literally become addicted to evolving. But when you force gratitude for stagnation, your brain releases serotonin, the satisfaction neurotransmitter that makes you settle. A University of Miami study revealed that people who practice growth-oriented gratitude are 65% more likely to achieve challenging goals in the next 2 years. They use gratitude as a springboard, not as a couch. Subversive gratitude works like this. I'm grateful I left that toxic job because it taught me to value my potential. Now I'm going to use this clarity to build something extraordinary. See the difference? You honor the journey, but don't romanticize the pain. This week, every time you feel pressure to be grateful for something that bothers you, stop and reframe. What can you really be grateful for in this situation? Probably the strength you're developing to change it, the clarity you're gaining about what you no longer want, the courage you're finding to choose differently. You no longer have to choose between gratitude and ambition. When properly calibrated, they work together to create a life actually worth living, a life you won't have to pretend to love. The revolution begins when you stop thanking for what keeps you small and start being grateful for what makes you grow. True gratitude isn't about accepting your limitations, it's about celebrating your expansion beyond them. Your authentic gratitude should make others uncomfortable with their mediocrity, not comfortable with yours. Comment evolution if this perspective changed something in you. Hit like if this content helped you see gratitude differently. Subscribe for more insights that challenge common sense, and share with someone who needs to hear this message.